don't look any different. I thought you'd have like some maybe some aging marks or like
I don't know. I might have grown older, but still face of a youngster.
Dude, I hear you. I'm scared to shave my beard because I don't want to like go back in time to when I was like a sophomore in high school. So I still haven't shaved since like sophomore year of college. So
jeez,
I know.
Yeah. Can you tell I haven't shaved recently?
Looking good, dude. Sharp.
One day.
Keep it professional. That's when I saw your email. I was like, at Outlook, I was like, that's a professional email. Like when people go to Outlook, I just feel like it's on another, like Gmail. It used to be like when people got a Gmail, it was like, oh, cool, you're doing stuff with your life. Now it's like everybody has a Gmail, and then Outlook is like back in the game. So it's like, oh, you're professional now, you know? Like, I don't know too many people running around with Outlook emails that aren't like in the world of, you know, business and such as.
Right. Heck yeah. Official then. Yes.
But yeah, it's good to talk to you. Good to finally have you on. I remember back in the day we did our own like little podcast before podcasts like got too huge. I feel like we were pioneers of the game.
Oh, that was an incredible time.
I feel like that was a really like good dive. I wish if I could find that, if I could figure out where that went, I would definitely probably make that one of these episodes.
I don't even remember like where some of those conversations went off to.
I know. It was like everything. I feel like it was literally everything A to Z.
Those are the best.
You've been traveling though. You've been hitting, you know, marking the globe up with them freaking Corvid shoes. So you've been freaking hitting the road.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta like quarantine. We gotta stay inside." I'm like, "All right, time to go explore."
Yeah, less people to get in your way.
Also makes things significantly harder.
Oh yeah, less people, but more restrictions, more red tape, all that jazz. I'm sure.
Like recently, went to Spain. When I hit Germany, I thought I was getting sent back. Like I was going, like obviously, like with a bunch of other guys from the U.S., Canada area, and I think 4 or 5 guys got sent back when they made it to Germany. So that means they did like the full overnight flight, made it to Germany, and they're like, "Yeah, we see your papers. We're not going to accept them though. Go back." And it's like, holy, and it's like everything that they asked for, we had. And they looked at it and they said, "We just don't want it." So, so they just, even though we were about to just go from the German airport to Spain, a few of the guys just got turned back. It's like, good Lord. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think they're just one of the like most strict about it right now too.
Yeah. Them and Spain, both of them.
Really, Spain is?
Yeah. Like in Spain, like we were only allowed to be in groups of 4 outside and we still had to have our masks on. Like, groups of 5 and we were huddled up. Like police would come over to us, talk to us. It was like,
man,
it is intense.
These people, man, these people are out here. They don't. I feel like we're not even like we've had a whole year now to like figure it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's still like no good theory behind what we're doing. It's just like, oh, you know, 4 people and you're outdoors, wear a mask. Like, you know, why? Like what? Why 4? Why not like 4.5? Why not like 6? Right. You know, like, I mean, the CDC literally came out the other day, which I'm sure they've known this for freaking 8 months now, but they were like, they specifically came out and were like, you cannot pretty much spread COVID outside. Like you might obviously do some, but like to the point of like a spreading event, it's not going to happen outside. And then there's still like those things all like, you know, football games and baseball games, like, it's still, there's no like good answer to why they're doing the things they're doing, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing if like, you know, everyone's still afraid of it and we all like are like, all right, we're going to agree and let's all do this. But it's so divided now. No one's on the same page. Like half people are like, all right, we're going to go out and party. We're going to go do this, this, and this. The other half's like, yeah, I don't think we should do that, but I'm still probably going to do it.
That's the thing. Like people are saying like the people that don't like think we should be going out, you still like, you see those people out and it's like, are you just here to like tell us to do something and not do it or what?
For real.
I don't know. It's nuts. What are you gonna do except travel the world?
Exactly. Just let's just go and or become one with nature. I mean, it was just Earth Day. It's a perfect time to go outside.
I don't even know about Earth Day anymore. I feel like the Earth is just done with us. And then it's like,
Well, yeah, I think was it Earth Day happened like what 2 days ago,
yeah,
and like Ohio just got hit with a ton of snow. I think parts of Kentucky got hit with snow. I don't know if you did or not.
yeah, we had like 2 inches almost. It's like that person you don't like, but then like their birthday comes around and you have to like message them on Facebook like happy birthday. That's like what Earth Day is now. It's like you shit on them the whole year, and then
It's
you have
just
to give them like a happy birthday thing on
like
Facebook.
a little pity, like happy birthday.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's all lowercase too, no exclamation points,
No use of emojis.
no emoji, not even a freaking cake emoji, nothing.
It's harsh. It's harsh.
I guess we'll officially start this thing off.
I don't know. I've never done one of these before.
Just pretend it's like the most important thing you've ever done. No pressure.
Oh god. No.
Alrighty, this is your host, your gracious, beautiful host, and I am here today with college roommate, workout partner. What other things would you qualify as? Maybe like
Troublemaker. I don't know.
troublemaker. Maybe
We didn't really get into trouble, did we? We just did a lot of shenanigans.
yeah, shenanigan doer. Let's see, other things. I feel like there were some specific things. Man, it's tough to think about it, but
I mean, we did quite a bit of basketball.
basketball teammate, soccer, I guess soccer teammate in a few occasions. All these things and more, here with the one and only Seth Stinnett. I'm trying to think of like a good like descriptor for you. I'm not sure though. Do you have any like, is there anything that people like call you, or like not necessarily like a nickname, but maybe like a superhero name that you ever get called?
No, like honestly, like I don't know. I just feel like I'm like super boring because no one ever has a nickname for me. I don't have a cool name or anything. Everyone just calls me Seth. And like the only way people can like see me and whatnot is like they like look for my like super blonde hair and they just look for me like standing above a good bit of the crowd. Like that's something about it.
Yeah, this guy. He's tall. He has that hair. This is the guy. I'm looking for. So if you ever like want to become maybe a criminal, you might want to, cut a few inches off somewhere. I don't know if you're going to start at the bottom or the top. Probably the bottom.
Have the surgery to remove a couple inches of my shins.
Yeah, dude. I wonder if that's a thing. That'd be cool.
I've heard of people like adding a few inches to their shins to get
Oh,
a few
wow.
inches taller, but
Dang. I wonder why. Like I can see if you're like 3 feet tall, but like, would that be? I feel like your whole life would be different at that point. You'd be running into like door frames. You would be like forgetting how tall you are and reach for something and like punch everything in the way. I don't know.
Well, I can't remember like any real world examples, but I remember this one movie. I think it's like called like Gattaca. This man was trying to impersonate some other like astronaut, like, but he really wanted to be an astronaut, but he had like this like health issue that they weren't going to let him go. So he wanted to impersonate this other guy. So basically had to make sure he matched every single thing about this man. Like this other man was still alive, so he was like in on it. But he was like, all right, we got to make sure that you're the same height. You got to make sure you have all this extra stuff with him and whatnot. So he goes under surgery for to add a few inches to his shins. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like he was committed to it.
I feel like that's maybe a metaphor for life. You got to just go under the life knife and commit to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's take these listeners back, really to your childhood and kind of unlock the riddle of who you are, why you became a serial killer.
First of all, anyone that doesn't know us, I am not a serial killer. But I don't really think there's too much of a riddle to me. Pretty straightforward kind of person. I don't know, just grew up playing sports, decided to stick with sports. Nothing too crazy.
So wait, where are you from? Ohio? You're from like northern Ohio?
Yes. Yes, Northeast Ohio, specifically a town called Green. Just the color green. A little interesting fact: our school colors were not green; they're actually orange and black. It was wonderful. Made all my friends angry. So, especially like I moved high schools. Was my sophomore year. When I was telling everyone where I was from and whatnot, and I like mentioned the school colors. Oh, they all hated it. It like triggered like all their OCD and everything. They're like, "This is terrible." I don't know, somewhere around like the beginning of my high school, I think it was like 8th grade for me. My parents got divorced, and my sophomore year, I don't know if it was different for you. Like I've talked to different people, but like not everyone has like grading periods, grading periods like when they were growing up. So like we had like 4 grading periods, so each was like 9 weeks long. So the first grading period of my sophomore year, I finished that, and then like right at the start of it, we moved in with with who is now my stepdad. That was just kind of like, I don't know, the reason why we moved. But on top of that, it was like, everyone was just ready for a new like city to go to and explore and just meet new people. So it all worked out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy that I made the move though.
And did that move, like, when you change schools, I feel like you become the new kid. And was that like a weird thing for you to just kind of like roll into it?
At first, like I was a very shy like person when I was growing up. So like I hated talking to people and whatnot. But like if someone talked to me, I wouldn't talk with them and whatnot. But so for me, like just going into this new area, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this at all. I don't know how I'm going to make any friends. But then because, I was the new kid, I got all this attention. And was it just because it was like November when we moved? All summer long, I had been outside swimming and playing soccer, and all of the fall season played soccer. So I was like super, super tan at this time. And my hair was just like super, super white. When I moved or like came into the class, everyone started asking me if I was from California because I had like really long hair, and everyone's like, "Oh, this man looks like he surfs." But it was just a great way to like start meeting everyone and whatnot. And it was a smaller school, so everyone was like really close, so everyone knew each other. So yeah, it was pretty easy to make friends though.
Did you have any moments when you first like were making that first impression or first few impressions that you like did something embarrassing and you're like, I hope this doesn't stick?
Thankfully, no. I don't nothing comes to mind. So I'm pretty sure I was safe from anything like that. Although my sister, though, like she's super outgoing. She was like our school mascot and everything for a while. Like she was like, I moved to a school to Ravenna High School, and our mascot was a raven. So she's the one dancing inside this raven, going around just acting crazy. Everyone knows who she is. She's the one just like dancing her head off at all the school dances and everything. So, that was like my only like little embarrassing bit. It was just like everyone knows that she's my sister. So I was just like, oh, it's all coming back on me. Like, gosh dang it.
Did having your sister there, was that like a good experience just like when you moved to another school, like having her there, or was it weird mostly?
I mean, she was a grade below me, so I didn't really see her much. It didn't really like help her or like really change much for me. But yeah, especially like I think like my junior and senior year, I don't remember like seeing her like at all because like just our schedules were so like different because she was doing a lot of dancing, and I had practice every night of every week because I played 3 sports during high school every year. So yeah, I was just never home.
Was that your cover for like going out and like being wild, just playing,
No. I actually don't think I went to like any like proper parties or whatnot. Like I went to like one school dance. Oh no, I went to 2 school dances, but one was like was prom, and there's kind of like an after party of that I went to. But like I had like good friends, and we didn't get like drunk or anything, so it was a good time.
So what were those 3 sports? I'm assuming one was soccer. So what were the other 2?
So my freshman year, I did soccer, bowling, and track. And then sophomore, junior, and senior year, it was soccer, bowling, and tennis.
Was it hard to jump into tennis? Like, was that something that, like, it seems like it's almost become one of those sports where it's, very specialized from an early age.
Yeah. It's like I ran into like some players that like were playing since they were like 6, 7, 8 years old and whatnot. And freaking, I had no chance against them. Like I was playing for maybe 2, 3 years. By the time I played them, it was just like, yeah, no, I'll pack up and I'll head home. Like it just wasn't really much of a contest thing.
Yeah,
but it wasn't too hard to pick up though. It's totally different from a lot of the other games because it's so much more about like your mentality. Because like you're playing on your own. It's like, yes, you can hit this ball. You can hit this ball here. You can hit this ball here. But if you aren't thinking the right way, you suddenly can't hit the ball where you want it to. It's pretty stressful.
Dang, sounds almost like a little Jedi mind trick going on with controlling the ball.
Yeah, and you're trying to play mind games with the other guy as well the entire time.
So would you say that soccer was your, like, the sport that you were the best at, or were you kind of like equally good at all of them, or what?
Well, so when I was growing up, I played baseball a lot. It sounded like, from like what I remember and from what I've heard from like my parents and a couple other people I've talked to, is like I was like really, really good at baseball. So I think that just was more natural for me. However, I ended up like stopping playing that in middle school just because I enjoyed soccer a little bit more. But out of all the other sports, though, soccer was definitely my best. But I was pretty darn good at bowling, though.
Did you ever consider like taking that bowling to the next level, or were you, all soccer all the way?
I was like thinking about it. Like it would be nice, like if like a college offered me somewhere to go to bowl. And I think I did have, was it one college talk to my coach, but I think like a little miscommunication like that didn't work out, but that was all right because I was very happy with where I ended up anyway.
Did you ever did you ever like, maybe you have a little, bad sushi or something and you miss a bowling practice and you're like, I got to practice. I can't let off the grind, and you pick up that Wii remote and you just do some Wii bowling. Is there any benefit to doing some Wii bowling?
Not that I can remember, because I remember like trying to get like the 300 on the Wii bowling. I'm pretty certain like the game is rigged where it won't let you get a 300, because gosh dang, I remember staying up like one whole night trying to do it. Never was able to. I was getting like 290, which is like 9 of 10 strikes.
That's a heartbreaker.
12. Man, but yeah, like with the Wii bowling, is like your arm motion was like, I wouldn't, just not be like the same as like proper bowling.
I always thought, I'm a pretty good Wii bowler, and then I go play, real bowling, and I might get like a 68, So
the ball suddenly doesn't go where you want it to.
No. And like, it's weird because like I've only played without the bumpers like 2 games. So you don't really understand what real bowling is until you take those bumpers away.
At one point, like the bumpers actually like started hurting me. Like I would like, or because I had a ball that like had a weight in it, so it allowed it to curve. And every time I would roll it, like an edge would like touch that bumper, and it would shoot it all the way across. And I was like, man, we can't work with this.
Dang. So you had that like that curve going on.
Oh, absolutely.
That mean curve ball.
I mean, there's guys that can make the ball curve a whole bunch more. Like mine pretty much went straight, and then like right at the last second, it would curl just a little bit, and just enough to make the pins explode. Great.
So do you think that curve is just like, kind of giving maybe the pins a little fake out because they're standing there and they're trying to like get ready. You don't want to be knocked over as a bowling pin. So it's like, putting that curve on it is almost like you're tricking those pins because you think it's going to be like, oh, let's get our defenses here. It's almost like a little Red Rover game. And
give them like the juke move.
You got to lock arms with those other pins, and then you hit little Sally with it, and then she gets bowled over, and
Gotta surprise them.
Yeah, it's mental warfare, I think.
Gotta lure them into a false sense of security, and then bop.
Have you ever seen anybody do like an S shape with their spins? Is that possible?
I've only seen it with a ball moving maybe half a mile per hour.
Gotcha.
Like that's the only time I've ever seen it. But
Have you ever played with the what is it called, that what's that thing called where you like push it down, the ramp thing?
oh, that like ramp that's meant for like 2-year-olds that can't hold a ball.
Yeah, have you ever used that?
I've definitely tried it one time, and it did not go where I wanted it to. So I was like, no more of this thing. Because like I was like, all right, it's perfectly lined up. Push down the ramp, and it's like, we're going to take a hard left. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Did you ever get like the people out there who with their what's it called, the like the frick, what is it called? What's it called, that thing that does that has a little bubble in the middle? Tells you if it's level. A little leveler. Yeah. Did you ever get people like on the bowling alley part and just put their leveler down to make sure they weren't like scamming you?
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either, but. And is it supposed to be like completely flat, or is there any like hill to it?
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be flat or not. I would imagine so, but I imagine it's supposed to be flat.
I can see.
I don't think it's like a curve or anything, or a hump in the middle or something.
Yeah, I can see some maybe like half price bowling alley with a little hump in the middle, but I can see where that would be like another version of bowling, though, where you could like add a little gradient or whatever it's called to the bowling course, the little deal.
Gosh.
Almost like putt.
Yeah. Just suddenly you're like, all right, we gotta kind of like an obstacle course. We gotta make sure it curves all the way around this bend, bank off this bumper here, try to go for this pin all the way over here, try to bounce them all the way around.
Yeah. See, that could be the next thing. That could be.
Dude, that could bring some real excitement to bowling.
It would. People would play that. They would love it too. Like you hit maybe one of the obstacles, and something happens to you. You have to like close your eyes next time, or like bowl with the opposite hand, or one-footed.
Like a forfeit of some sort.
Yeah. Oh. What's like the weirdest thing you've seen when it comes to bowling, whether that's in like a competition or just like with family and friends? Like, is there anybody who like just throws it down like a baseball or does any weird stuff like that?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I've done my fair share of like, I don't know, fun. I guess that's the word, and just like fun ways of throwing the ball down the lane. I've never done it with like a baseball. Too terrified of like the ball like just smashing into the alley into the lane, and like someone like scolding us. Oh yeah! Anytime like there was like a big thump where like the ball was like really locked in the air, we'd get scolded because it would like leave little dents in the wood.
Yeah, I've always been afraid to like crack that wood and see what comes out from under, because if those pins get flushed back there, there's probably some small animals under that wood that'll come up and eat your popcorn or take your hamburger or something.
See what's? Oh man, they sound hungry.
So do you think that like, is bowling like a competition, like one of the chillest competitions as far as like?
No.
Really?
No.
I just imagine like a bunch of dudes chilling out, maybe drinking a beer, even in high school, just like maybe down in a hot dog or two. You got the coach over there, maybe smoking a cigarette.
Like adult leagues and whatnot. Like, yeah, so like adult leagues, everyone just comes, bowls once a week, just spends like 2 or 3 hours just hanging out. Those are definitely calm. And yeah, everyone's enjoying like pitchers of beer and such. But high school though, it's intense. High school and college, both are super intense. Especially like when it comes to like tournaments. I think we were in one tournament where there's something like 60 teams all in the same like alley. Holy, like everyone of course is like trying to cheer on their own teammates. Everyone's trying to stay pumped, because again, it's mental warfare because like you're paired up against another team. So you're like, all right, we gotta make sure we beat this other team, and we also gotta make sure that we're like still doing good. Like even if we're losing to them, we gotta make sure we're still doing well. So every time someone gets a spare, we're like, heck yeah, pumped up, we're clapping, giving each other high fives. Someone gets a strike, just double that. I'll make sure everyone can hear us. Like I definitely like every time we finish a tournament, like I would have to like rest the next day because like my voice is just shot.
Dang, that sounds awesome.
Oh,
that's legit.
Oh, it was so much fun.
So do you play against the team that's next to you, or are they a different, like at a different lane or something?
When it comes to tournaments, it's all based off of scores. So it's a good feeling to know that you're beating the team next to you, but they could also be the worst team there. So even though, yes, you've beaten them, there could be a couple of pairs like down the lane somewhere, or down the alley somewhere, that are just shooting lights out. Like everyone's hitting 300s, just madness like that. So like even though, yes, you beat your team, you could still be knocked out of the next round.
So how many teams like make it, like how many rounds are there in a bowling competition, or what's the proper terminology there? Competition or like
just a tournament?
Tournament. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, that's it. That's the golden ticket.
Now I have to think about it. I don't think there's like ever like a cutoff, like with like the PGA, golfing and whatnot. Like there's like a cutoff point where like people underneath this score, you're done. But I think like everyone bowling like wouldn't like bowl the entire time. It's just you would kind of know if you're like in the race or not. If you know like you're having a good day, you're like, all right, things are looking good. And then between each game, they would kind of like announce like what everyone's scores are at.
Gotcha.
So, I think like the main like format for tournaments will be like bowl like 3 normal games, and then we'll do 5 Baker games.
Ooh, but like, what's that? That's interesting. Never heard of that. It's like, do you get like treats for getting, certain scores?
No. It's much more of like a team style game. So with the normal game, all right, like, you're bowling like as an individual, you have 10 frames, right? And when you bowl on like the right side of the ball machine and then on the left side. And so you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until the game's over. With the Bakers, every team is on their own lane, and there's like a set order to who bowls. So we have 5 guys in our starting lineup. So we'd have like an order. So someone go first, then another guy would go the second frame, next guy the third frame, fourth frame, fifth frame. And the fifth frame guy was always our anchor, because then it would repeat. So the first guy would be on the 6th, second on the 7th, so on and so forth. The 5th would be on the 10th. And like the 10th frame, like you want your like anchor guy that's going to get strikes, because he has 4 opportunities to get strikes. So
is there any like outside of the 5th position, is there any benefit to like how you place those other 4?
Absolutely, yeah. So the first guy, like the very first guy, is someone that you like want to have that's just like really, really solid. Like either he's going to get a strike or he's going to get a spare. All right, that was pretty much my role every time. I unfortunately never was an anchor. I was never good enough for that.
So is anchor almost like the designated hitter?
Pretty much, yeah. He's like the home run hitter. Like,
gotcha.
He goes for the strikes, and if he has to get a spare, so be it. But he wants the strikes there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we always had a guy that would like start like left of like the lane. He'd roll it to like where it's almost going off the gutter, and then it comes all the way back in the strikes, and it's like the heck.
Dang.
And just his power, but
adrenaline junkie, dude, living life on the edge.
100%.
That's risky. You put one of those in the freaking gutter, you're going to end up in the gutter too.
Dude, absolutely. Oh,
dang. But was there any like fights that you saw or got like to be a part of in the bowling games?
I never saw anyone like fighting on in like a bowling alley, but there's definitely been like some people get like a little tense, like because like when you're doing really well, like your team gets really pumped up, and if that other team's like struggling a little bit, like if you happen to like brush into them a little bit as you're going to get your ball, things get a little tense.
Yeah. And speaking of the balls and stuff like that, so do you probably have your own ball, right?
Yes. Yeah, I had 3 balls.
I was gonna say, like, do you use different balls for different situations?
Yep.
Dang.
Yep. It all depends on the oil patterns. If you're going for a strike, you're going for a
What?
spare. Yeah.
Dang. I never even heard of these oil patterns. What's that?
So, well, so what allows the ball to like slide down the lane is just oil. That's why like there's like a foul line. If you step across that foul line, you're risking your life because
I always wondered why that was slippery.
slip. Oh, you can slip so much.
Yeah. Dang. I always thought it was just like a myth and they didn't want you to go like wander down the lane and throw it at the pins. You know, I thought it was just like one of those like kind of myth rules that just were there for no reason, really.
Well, I mean, on top of like, for your own safety, it's also part of the game to, see how many pins you can knock over from behind that line.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anybody get swept up by the machine?
No, I've never seen anyone underneath the machine while it's doing stuff.
I wonder what would happen if you had like maybe like a few toddlers down there, if they would just set them up on their feet and be like in the bowling pin positions.
I'm sure after a ball came flying down, they'd start getting crushed. Well, like, yeah, the machine would like come down, smack them, like pin them to the floor, and then like the arm would just push them into the back.
Sounds like bowling can be pretty violent, Really?
There's been I've had a few instances where like I personally like pretty much gotten hurt and almost hurt a few other people.
Dang! Would you release the ball behind you and knock out a few of your teammates or something?
So one tournament, I was like getting warmed up. I had a ball in my hand. I was just swinging back and forth. I was like gripping it pretty hard. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, it just kind of like just separated from my hand. And like in the Wii bowling, every time you went backwards, everyone would jump up and be like, "Wow!" and like spin their heads around.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. It just like went up, landed. Everyone like, "What?" I don't know. Obviously, their heads didn't spin around, but like everyone's like jumped up a little bit.
That'd be a good way to freaking break a toe or something.
Yeah, if anyone happened to be like walking by, because again, it was before the tournament started, so anyone could have been anywhere. I could definitely have heard someone's like, sorry.
Dang.
But then there's like one time like when I was bowling, like in the middle of like I think it was just like competition against another team. I like went and released the ball, except the thumb hole was a little too small, or like my thumb was like inflated that day or something.
Too much sodium.
Yeah, it probably was just overheated because it was like pretty much like the end of the day. Like we had been bowling like 4 games already, just getting a little bit sweaty and whatnot. My thumb like stuck into this ball. Ball goes flying, pulls my arm. Like my elbow like was hurting a little bit afterwards. Ball goes like up almost to the ceiling, comes crashing down.
Oh my God!
It was like, ooh, yikes!
Dang.
It was safe to say that was the end of my day.
Did they come out and like question you anything like that?
No.
Dang.
No, everyone saw like that it stuck to my thumb, so like it's fine, but yeah.
It makes me like question whether I want to be a bowler now, I just stick to the Wii because that's terrifying. I don't want to like, pull my arm out and have that thing rolling down looking like a pin.
Like I said, it was just one of those times where I don't know, just a series of unfortunate things happen.
I feel like bowling's just one of those things where you feel like you're safe when you go in, like, oh, I'm playing, I'm doing some bowling right now. I don't have to worry about injury. But then that's when you get too cocky, you get a little nonchalant with those bowling moves. And then who knows what can happen.
You have to make sure your legs and your arms are all like ready to go. Because again, you do have to like, I mean, it's not much, but you do have to walk up to the lane to roll the ball. But you are like putting effort on your like slide and everything, so you could always pull something and whatnot. Was then obviously like with the example I just gave, like you could pull your arm out by accident. Sometimes you really try to put a lot of curve on it. You just start whipping everything a little bit too much.
So let's say you get a strike. Is there any like dance moves or celebration tactics that you ever had consistently?
It changed a lot for me.
Was it just like spur of the moment?
Yes, definitely was. But at the same time, it's like we like as a team, we definitely had like a like certain cheers and such, and like these definitely came into effect when we did Bakers, like those team games and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like every every strike, we all had like a chant to do and whatnot. But like as far as like motions and such, it really just depended on the day.
Yeah. Do you think kids these days, the bowling game has just gotten a little bit too celebration, like, football and basketball? You see these kids out here doing, full like TikToks after they hit a strike.
I mean, I don't think there are any competitions, but at the time, but I mean, when you're going there, just hang out with your friends, go for it. Like, cause if you're not like on like a team and you're not bowling consistent like most days of the week, strikes are pretty rare and they feel pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember if I get a strike, I'm always, I'm one of those people who just like to play it cool. Like that's what I always do. But, in my head, I'm like, I'm always celebrating in my head and in my heart.
You're just like, yeah, outside. All right, here we go.
I'm just like, yeah, that's what I expected to happen.
I was aiming for the left side, actually, the right side. Like, ooh.
So when it comes to like bowling practice, I feel like we've talked about bowling a lot, but it's just like the rabbit hole of like, I've never like thought about these things.
Right.
When it comes to like practicing for bowling, do you do like techniques or like, do you just do certain things or just like, oh, let's go bowl. And then that's our practice.
So some days we will just, we'll just go out and like, we'll just bowl a few games. Yeah, like we'll start with just bowling a few games, and then we'll go into like doing a few bakers, whatnot, just just getting repetitions in and such. But there will be times where we'll like purposely aim for certain pins, or we'll play like a spare game with our teammates. So we'd like throw a ball down the lane, try to avoid getting a strike. If we got a strike, it'd be like a penalty against us. But yeah, you try to leave a bizarre I don't know. Like a pickup is what we would call it for a spare. And so we just try to leave like a bizarre pickup and, just try to challenge each other to try to get it.
Did you ever do any like lawn bowling for like practice where you just put up some maybe Coke cans or Coke bottles?
No.
So just straight up, you had to go hit the alley,
Yeah, it's a very specialized thing.
Yeah, it seems like it is because you can go practice like football or basketball or baseball in somebody's backyard and it's not really that much different, but
yeah, you can play soccer on any sort of like surface. You can play just about anything anywhere else. But yeah, with bowling, you need like the alley. You need those pins.
You gotta have that little machine that scoops up those little toddler pins.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to be the one picking all that up.
No, are they? Have you ever held one? Are they heavy?
The bowling pin's heavy. Yeah.
Is it really? Huh.
Oh yeah.
Like, I guess they would have to be, or else they would just literally be obliterated.
Don't quote me on this, but I want to say they're like a soft, like I don't know, maybe 10 pounds. 10 pounds might be a little heavy, but they're a solid chunk of wood.
Dang. Oh, they're wooden?
Yeah.
Oh wow, didn't know that. I thought they'd be maybe some type of plastic or but they're really that Earth's kind of material, that Earth textile.
If you ever, well, I don't know if they do this for us older folks, but growing up, like kids had birthday parties and whatnot at the bowling alley, and like they would get a pin, and everyone like would sign it and everything. Like that's how I found out. Like, oh, that's actually a pretty hefty little thing.
Dang. So the alley would like sell them to you or give them to you, or how like that's what they would do?
I mean, I never had a birthday, or like I never hosted the birthday party, but I think it was just like, the parents would go and like set it up with like the manager of the alley and whatnot, and like, hey, we want to have a birthday party and whatnot, and like that just be part of the birthday package.
That'd be cool to have. That's something I definitely would be interested in, having this little pin. I'd be so tempted to draw on it, but make sure somehow I could like keep it fresh, maybe paint a layer over each drawing, but it'd be cool. That'd be cool to have.
Draw on the back side, and then the front side is the display side.
Yeah. That'd be such a cool little trinket. So getting into your soccer career, maybe like into high school, at what point did you start to like see yourself, okay, I'm getting pretty good at this sport, and did you think you would kind of like take the journey that you're on now at that beginning point?
Honestly, not to like sound like overly humble or whatever, I like just like how I actually think of myself. Like I don't think I'm like super super good or anything, but I know like I can go out into the field and I can do my job and everything. So all right, I think that warrants me like allowing me to like play at higher levels. So I don't know, I didn't like start thinking about that like honestly until college. Like in high school, like soccer was just soccer. I wanted to play soccer. It was fun to play soccer. Um, I honestly didn't think about like, you know what, maybe I could actually go play professional soccer. I could go to this next level, whatever. Like, yeah, I never like really thought about that. I've always thought, oh yeah, it would be fun to like play professional soccer, but I never like really like kind of materialized as like a dream or anything until like I was in college.
And when you were in high school and stuff, like, was there a decent like strength and conditioning aspect to the sports there?
It was pretty basic because like I wasn't at like one of those like wealthier schools and whatnot. So it was just like we had like a head varsity coach and like an assistant coach, and we would like go practice during the summer. We'd run a lot during the summer and whatnot. Like work on like our core and such. But like other than that, that was like to the extent of it. I think like my high school now like does a little bit more, but at the time, yeah, I didn't do like any sort of like weight training.
Really? Dang.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that would have been something to kind of push you to another level, or do you think it's just kind of, meant to be that way and it's all good?
I think it could have helped me out a little bit. Because let's see, like unlike how I am now, like I think I'm like around 6'3" ish, something around that right now. When I was like a freshman in high school, I didn't even weigh 100 pounds yet. Like I was this tiny, tiny little kid. I played in the middle of the field, where everyone's like bullying each other and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm trying to make a life out here, but every time someone touches me, I weigh less. So just, you look at it from a physics standpoint, I'm the one going flying. But yeah, I didn't like really start growing until like the senior year. So yeah, probably having like some extra weight training, like a way to like add some like extra weight or muscle or whatnot, probably would have helped me out a little bit.
Moving into kind of like your college years, did you come into college with like the mindset of, I still want to play soccer somehow? Like, were you looking for those opportunities at the very beginning?
Yeah. My freshman year, like I've wanted to try out for the, you've told people like where you've gone to college, right? Like on here?
On and off. Yeah. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a well-established fact, but I've definitely said it before.
Yeah. So at Northern Kentucky, I wanted to try out for like the school's team and whatnot. Cause when we were there, like, they were transitioning from D2 to D1. So I was like, all right, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to jump in. I can develop with them for a few years before all the Division One like competition begins. So I go, I think it was like my spring semester. So it was like my second semester there. I finally got a tryout. But at this point, I didn't realize like, oh, like these guys are like super in shape. Like I felt like I was like in decent shape because like I had been running around playing soccer on the field and such. I was able to run more than like most of like the guys that were playing pickup and whatnot. So I felt all right. But then when I went to that tryout though, I realized how much running they did. I realized how physical they are, and I'm like, whew, all right, I definitely need to step it up if I was going to get onto that team. But unfortunately, they weren't looking for like someone that or something that I was offering. I didn't get onto that team my freshman year. I attempted to try out again on my sophomore year. I think they weren't very good about like kind of like letting it know like, hey, you can walk on at X point, whatever, or like come try out to be a walk on. So I like reached out to them. They're like, oh, sorry, we did this like 3 months ago. Like, all right then. So I reached out to them about the same time I did my freshman year. So yeah, it just changes. So I was like, well, all right. But yeah, around that time, that was when I found the soccer club that I was playing on.
As far as like the club stuff goes, I remember kind of being around that a little bit, and it seemed like there were some and this is coming from somebody who's not very versed in soccer, but it seems like there were some pretty competitive people on the just within the league and within the teams that you played outside of Northern. Do you think that some of those players were up to the level of playing at a college, but just maybe didn't apply themselves or weren't interested in really that commitment or something like that?
I definitely think like a lot of the players that like we played against, especially like that was on my team. Like we definitely could have been like playing Division 2, Division 3 soccer. Like not to like say like Division 2, Division 3 soccer like isn't good or anything. It's just I definitely think like we had what it took to play at like those levels. Is that I think like one of our scrimmages like we played against what's that D3 school? That's right next to NKU.
I know what you're talking about. Saint something, or it's I think it's like a Christian or Catholic school. You're talking about that one? Saint Thomas or Thomas something? Thomas More. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. But yeah, we played them one time and we ended up beating them. I think it was like 2-0. It might have been just 1-0, but we ended up beating them that game. And I was like, all right, well, you know, we definitely are playing like Division 3 level. Like obviously we're beating this team. So I was like, that was just a good feeling.
Yeah. And do you feel like you put in a good amount of effort when it comes to like outside of the games and outside of kind of the more structured part of the club? Do you think you were, trying to train and do that kind of thing as well?
Yeah, when I was in college, I definitely think I put in a good like amount of effort outside of it. I mean, obviously it was harder because of classes and working and such, but it was like we were working out together quite a bit. Like there'd be multiple days out of the week where I just kind of go over to the soccer fields and just hang out, play around, maybe play like intramural games or something like that.
Those workouts, man, those were pretty good times.
I still think back to that one army workout that we did.
Oh no, I was actually going to bring that up. Just like when you were talking about running and everything and getting in shape, I was thinking about that workout, and I've actually shared it a few times on here. But man, that was definitely probably the most sore I've ever been all over.
100%. Like I don't know why we decided 3 times a week of doing that was a good idea, but like
especially after that first time, I don't know what we thought. Like
I could not sit up like at all in like my bed. Like to get myself off my bed, I had to like forcefully like roll myself off the edge and just catch myself before I fell. It was like, it was so much pain.
Yeah, I was just sore in places that I've literally never like been sore before, and I couldn't even sleep certain ways. Like my arms had to go in certain directions and positions, and
yes.
Man, it was and then the running part for me was probably the scariest part, having to do what was like a quarter mile and as fast as you can do it. And
I think the time limit was like 90 seconds.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it's still like a decent pace, and it's like, phew. We always change like that third aspect of it, right?
It was I think push-ups, wasn't it, where you did like as many push-ups as you could do in like 2 minutes or something?
Yeah, I think that's what like we started as, and then we just kind of changed it up as we went. Like just whatever we were feeling that day.
Yeah.
Like I remember we benched one day.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. God, man. Yeah, that was definitely the most challenging thing I've probably ever done, and maybe only second, and maybe it's tied to when I did the marathon, but yeah, that would definitely be right up there as far as just, I mean, how long did that took us at least 2 to maybe between 2 and 3 hours.
It definitely had to, because I mean, when we first started, like I don't think I was able to do like 3 solid pull-ups in a row, and we had to get up to 100 every time. So it was like, oh my goodness, and we had to repeat that 3 times that was gosh, it just it's haunting me all of a sudden.
It did. It took a long time those first couple times just to, and it's crazy how good we got at pull-ups really after just a few workouts.
Like, and still to this day, like I'm still able to do pull-ups because of that workout. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I did that workout.
Yeah. I think that goes to show, like, if you want to get good at something, part of that is just doing it,
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say like good times, but definitely like good, looking back on it, good times. Yeah.
The time is definitely did
Um,
not look good.
no. And
But
then yeah, but it was cool. Like the other workouts, just like going and actually having somebody to like consistently work out with was like
yeah,
just key to sticking. I think for me at least, sticking with like staying on a schedule and routine and everything. But
right. Yeah, this is definitely helpful because anytime I would like do it on my own, it's like I would like show up and like, you know what? I just don't have the motivation for this. Or I would start thinking about something and be like, I got to scoot out a little early or something like that. It's like, man, I mean, that's if I was able to go to the gym at all. It's like, man.
yeah,
So, yeah.
that last year was, seems like you were always doing super busy,
What my senior, or yeah, like my like last 2 semesters there. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I was working 2 jobs. I was playing soccer. I had 4 classes, 5 classes, something like that. It was a lot. I was getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, if that. I think that was like some of the good days. I got that much sleep.
Kind of like after college, or like right when you were kind of getting done with college, and then in that period like right after, did you really have the vision of doing what you're doing now, or was it kind of just like maybe for a second you stopped and you didn't really think you were going to be doing it?
So I think it was about like when I started like, or when I joined this like a student run club. I think like that's when I started thinking like, you know what, maybe I'll be able to get real good here. Just increase my knowledge of the game, my skills, and everything, and just kind of like skip the college phase and just kind of jump right into like a professional area. I mean, it's probably not going to be very high, but I could probably find like a lower level place that I could start at. Well, I think it was our second year of living together. Like that's when I started going on all these trips, trying out for different teams.
Yeah.
I went to like Oklahoma. I went to New York. We went to Florida together for spring break.
Yeah, good
Good trip.
times in the swamps. I was actually thinking about that today, like going to that park or whatever with all that cool stuff. I was thinking how cool it'd be to go back there because it was just like the most beautiful place.
Yeah, it's like a walking trail,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a really good, a real cool place to be.
Yeah.
Um, so we didn't see any alligators eat anything, right?
I don't think we didn't see them eat anything, no, but we definitely saw some.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was like, I can't remember if we saw them chomp on anything.
No, I don't think so.
Missed opportunity.
We saw some cool stuff though, some gators, and I don't even know what half the stuff was I saw. I think it was just like in Florida. In Florida, you don't even know if it's like from Earth or if it's just outer, from outer space, because that's like
crawls out of the swamp and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
You seem like a Martian.
Yeah, basically that's what half the stuff is. So wouldn't be surprised.
Going back to your question though, I think it was when I was like traveling around playing or like doing all these tryouts. I think that's when I started getting the vision of like, oh, you know what? I probably could do this. It was especially like the Oklahoma tryout I went to. Because I learned so much there. I was playing the best soccer I've ever played, and I was like, it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people, and I was like, all right. Like right at that moment was when I was like hooked on it. I was like, all right, I definitely can make this like into reality. Just little did I know it's going to end up trips to Europe, trips across the country. My goodness.
So what led you to keeping that up? Is it just like a love for the game, a love for competition? What really motivates you to keep going for those things?
So at this point, like it's not exactly like the love of the game that's like really driving me to continue to try to play at a higher level. Because like if I like it's a lot more fun, like for me personally, to just kind of go around like not really playing like a super tense atmosphere, just kind of go and like kind of just pass around, like playing like a semi like competitive league with like, I don't know, like some older adults and such. You know, to me, that's a lot of fun. What's like really driving me to like go to like these higher levels is like really like, I don't know, kind of like, I don't know, the difference I want to make like in this world and whatnot. It's like I want to kind of like prove to like the upcoming generations and whatnot. I want to kind of like be a role model for them and all this. Like, look, you don't have to have money to go do this stuff. You don't have to. It's just like I want to like show them like, you know, you don't have to be stuck in like the one place that you're at. Because like where I grew up, where I moved high school is to Ravenna. You know, it's not like the wealthiest place. A lot of people that live there have lived there their whole lives. They feel like, all right, you know, this is my life. This is just where I'm stuck at. You know, I'm stuck in this area. I can't go any farther. And it's like I want to kind of deliver a message to them, like, look, you know, all you have to do, you know, just hold yourself to a higher level, push yourself, work at it, and you know, you can make this stuff happen to you. You can go to this next level. You can go across the world. You can go to Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, wherever the heck you want. You know, you have to put in the time, the effort, and just realize like I can do this if I apply myself.
That's gold. That's it right there. And yeah, I think that's a good place to stop this episode right there, is just on that kernel of wisdom and of motivation right there to end it, and with a good positive feeling. Yeah, I think that's so true though. You know, a lot of people do feel stuck, but it's cool to be able to kind of get out and prove that you can. Because like, you know, it's I think there's so many opportunities out there that people just aren't aware of. Like, honestly, I never would have even thought of like playing a sport after college unless like you're going to the NBA or MLB, or, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many opportunities out there for just different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And was everything like every industry, everything, it just keeps on growing. Like the more people that there are in this world, the more everything's going to expand. Like if you look at soccer right now in the US, teams are popping up left, right, like just everywhere. So that's just like a small example. Like new industries are being created, industries are growing. Just anything that you want and can dream of, just go for it. And there's going to be plenty of opportunities there.
That's right, man. That's it. That's it right there. Sheesh. Hit them with the home run right there at the end. You know, send them away with some, you know, pack them up, a little lunch box full of freedom right there. That's it.
Just we'll throw a little bit of knowledge in there just to make it sound like I'm smart.
Exactly. You got to fool these folks out here.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's good to talk and catch up. Definitely gonna have to do this again. I feel like I got stuck on that bowling thing for so long, but I don't know. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.